Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hi. I've missed you more than you've missed me, believe me. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a story, something that happened to me. Like, I wish it was fake. I wish it was clickbait. I quite literally wish that this thing didn't happen, but it happened. And I have screenshots and just voice notes of me ranting about it to like someone when it happened to me. To be honest, I told my whole family, everybody that was around me knew when this thing happened to me because it was literally so traumatizing. So 3 days into a job that I prayed for, like when you have prayer points, like this was my own prayer point. 3 days, and they gave me notice. They said, leave our job, like get out. Ah God, I'm laughing now, but then it was not funny at all. So let's run it back. If you're not new to my channel, you know that I did a 1 year placement, and in the UK, if you do a 1 year placement with your course, they basically like extend your visa because of your placement. It's just a thing. But if you're not able to like secure a placement, they reduce your visa. So when you finish school, you basically either get a job, like switch to the graduate visa, or you go back to your country, whatever it is that you decide to do. For my placement year, my contract ended. So because I work in the lab, I studied molecular microbiology, if you're not aware, and part of it was like working in the labs. During that period, they started like ending some contracts because they didn't need as much labs. So the lab I was working at, a very lovely lab, was one of the places that they didn't have the budget to continue. So they closed it down. So I had to look for another place. And if you know something, looking for a job is difficult in this country. Like, I'm not even joking with you guys. Like, it's very tough. So you have to be very resilient. So I kept on praying to get a job. Like, I say, God, this is my prayer point. Lord, I'm not going to do it halfway and go back home, because why? How do I want to go and start switching to post study now? Like, please, like I wasn't even ready. Eventually, I got a job. Bear in mind that me getting that job, like so many people helped me. Like, God just sent people to like help me, from my student advisor, like just different people just played different roles. And then I finally got this job. Bear in mind, it was not convenient. Like the commute was hellish. And I don't mean like hellish. I had to do a 40 minutes walk after going more than an hour on the bus. Like, let me tell you, I know maybe 40 minutes walk does not sound much, but genuinely imagine doing it 2 times a day, like 40 minutes walking, 40 minutes. Like, it was not funny at all. So my commute was very bad. But I was like, oh no, like this is my prayer point. What do you mean? Like, yeah, I'm going to go. Bear in mind, they fired me after 3 days of working there. 3 days. Like, I did not even stay there up to 1 week. 3 days. They said, get out. So the first day I went there, I got there too early because I didn't know the place. Basically, I was commuting to a different city entirely. I didn't know the correct buses to take. Like, I was still just testing out what Google Maps was showing me. Do you get what I mean? I wanted to see what is the best way to get there. And it was also not in a place where you say, this is like there's a direct anything. Do you get, like, so I had to get like double buses to get to where I'll get a bus to just know that it was a hassle, right? So the first day I got there too early. I got there very, very early, like 8 a.m. And my job was supposed to start by like 9. So just an hour early. So actually, I think I got there before 8, but let's just say 8 a.m. Let's just say 8. So when I got there, like I met all the people I was supposed to meet. And then the manager I met said, okay, I need to wait for one other person, like a rota manager, somebody that she was going to show me around and introduce me to the team, all that good stuff. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm waiting. And so when the person finally came, it was a woman, it was a white woman. When she finally came, she showed me around. Mostly, when they're doing induction, when they're showing you around, like you're not really saying anything. You're just like, okay, yes, yes. Like, they're basically speaking at you. Unless they ask you a question, then you answer. So majority of it was just her talking, her showing me around, which was absolutely normal. It was her showing me around, her talking, and me just being like, yes, okay, that's fine, I understand. Just stuff like that. After that, after her showing me around and everything, now they started training me for a particular thing, like scanning barcodes, because in the lab you have to do like scanning barcodes, just different things, because you're working with blood samples and everything. We also had to like enter a freezer where we stored blood, just different things like that, right? And blood samples as well. She finished doing the training and everything, and I was like, okay, yes, cool, thank you. Then we went home the next day. I got on another bus because I'm still trying to learn the place. Literally, it's 2 days. That was my second day. So I was still trying to learn and say, okay, I took this other bus yesterday. Let me take this bus today and know if I'm going to get there like at a reasonable time. Bear in mind, I took the same time. Like it was the same time I left my house the day before that I left the day after. So I used to leave my house by like 6:30, 6:35 ish. I know this time specifically because during that time was like a hallelujah challenge. I don't know if you guys are familiar with hallelujah challenge, but I remember that time was like a hallelujah challenge time. And in the I didn't used to be able to join because I would need to leave my house very early. So I'll be listening to it on the bus when I'm going. Like it was that long that I'll finish a whole hallelujah challenge session before I even get there. Like I'm just giving people context. So I also remember because I used to cry on the bus so much because it was stressful, it was tough. Like I don't know, it was just tedious and I was not even in the best mental like state of mind that time. The second day now, I went there, I entered the other bus that I wanted to experiment with, and then I got there at like 9:30 because I got lost. Ha! I already knew. And bear in mind, like I didn't have anybody's number because that was literally my second day. So when I got there, I saw the person that did my training and like the person that showed me round now. So I met her. I was not like, oh, hello, good morning. Like, sorry, like I've not yet figured out the bus. That's why I'm coming at this time. I came by 9:30. That's 30 minutes late. And to be honest, if you're doing any job, like it's very tardy to be late. Like there's no reason for you to come 30 minutes late, quite frankly. But I just assumed that like is my day two. Do you get like I don't know if I don't come late on day two or like my first 3 days, when am I going to come late? It's not an excuse. I'm just saying, like, getting used to job. She now looked at me and said, I thought you were not going to show up today. Dead serious. Like she looked at me straight in the eye and that was what she said. I thought you would not show up. And I was like, no, that I even started doing like LOL, LOL, that no, that I'll show up. Not like I was giggling loudly. I was just like, no, I will show up. Something like that, the awkward laugh. And I was like, no, that how will I not show up? That's I'll show up, but I just got lost. That, that please, does she have any number, like any WhatsApp group that I can join so that if I'm running late, I can just text it and be like, I'm running late, ETA, like estimated time of arrival, so and so something. I just said it just, a community, somebody's number, anything, somebody that I can be informing. She now wrote a number down for me on paper and gave it to me and put time for the number, like 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. If somebody gives you a number like that, the first thing to note is that that's an official number. That's not people's number. That's an office number, basically. So, and I said, okay, that's a bit weird because I've worked in places before and they'll literally put you in the group chats. But I was like, okay, maybe this is how people do things here. She now said that there's nothing. And I asked her, oh, is there a WhatsApp group, blah, 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 like that sort of thing. And she was like, no, that they don't have anything like that. I just want to fast forward a little bit here and say that I later asked my colleagues in the course of me working there, and there was, in fact, not one, but two WhatsApp groups. I started working then. I now explained to her that, oh, look at my commute, look at how my commute is, I can either get here too early or I'll get here 30 minutes late. That please, would I be able to just start early if I get there early? Because there's people that are doing 8 a.m. shifts anyways. Like, can I just start at 8 and then, end by 5 as opposed to starting by 9 and ending by 6? And she was like, no, that was not the agreed upon time. And I was like, yes, I absolutely understand. Like, I know that was not the agreed upon time, but like, this is what it is. I'm going to have to come an hour earlier and then like wait till 9, basically. Like, like I'm leaving my house by 6. And she was like, oh no, like that she doesn't know about that she'll have to ask some higher ups. And I was like, that's fine. You can ask anybody you can ask. She now asked me that, oh, can I do night shifts? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like I can do night shifts. What am I doing at home? Like, do you get what I mean? Like, I don't have kids. I'm not married. I don't have, do you get like, I'm free basically, so I can do night shifts. I'm very flexible. Matter of fact, at my old job, I was always the person they used to put on weekends because I didn't have any like commitments. I didn't have any like children or anything that needed attention during the weekend. So I used to always do like weekend shifts back to back to back. Also, weekend shifts pay more self and night shifts pay more. So I wasn't really opposed to it. So I said, yes, I can do night shifts, like no problems at all with that, right? Bear in mind, this babe also is the person that does the rotas for all the lab scientists. It's very important to note this because typically in hospital work or in any type of job where there's a rota system, the person that does the rotas, they worship that person. You must be on good terms with the person that does the rota. If not, you're going to be getting silly shifts like Christmas Day shifts, Christmas Eve shifts, which in fact I did get, but let's not go too fast. Okay. She after asking me all these things, like, can you do nights? Can you do this one? And I was like, yes, yes, yes. Like I can do all these things. My only P is that morning, that whole like commute stuff. Like either allow me like come start my shifts early. I wasn't even saying allow me come late too. I was saying allow me start my shifts early so that I can go early. Alternatively, I can even start my shifts early and still go by 6. But they did not want to pay for more than 8 hours because that was what they had in their contract. Like they will pay you for only 8 hours. So basically, I was going to be working 1 extra hour for free. So she then said she'll ask people upstairs. I told her, okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Thank you. Because if you know, you must just say thank you. It's just a thing, like just like thank you. Also, I have manners. I beg. Me, I left. I didn't think anything about it. I just thought, okay, this is okay. I've told her, jobs are typically flexible. It's human beings that make up the workforce, that make up the organization. See me thinking like I'm talking to a human being. Okay, now the next day I came to work, like I still came by my 8 because we hadn't yet concluded now. So I came to work, I waited the hour, I started my job. Tell me why it was like 10 a.m. ish, and I was just at the desk, scanning the barcodes, like guys, scanning the barcode and like so the way it is you have blood samples on a tray, then you have to like scan them so that the patient's details comes out, and you have to make sure that everything lines up, just lab procedure basically. So I was just scanning it, like I was wearing my lab coat and facing my front because you have to like be kitted up, lab coats, gloves, protective, all those things, whatever. So this babe comes up behind me and she's like, excuse me. Bear in mind, she hadn't even learned my name because obviously my name is too difficult for you to pronounce, Okay. And she just comes behind me and she's like, by the way, guys, exactly like this. She was like, by the way, this is your notice period. I said, is this playing? Like, God. I said, like, my brain started ringing. You know that loud beeping sound, like smoke alarm. I turned, I said, sorry, notice period. She said, yes, this is your notice period. I now started thinking in my brain, like, that is like, there's something else that means notice period or that I'm not quite following. I now asked her again, I said, sorry, notice period. She said, yes, this is your notice period. Starting from today, you don't have to come back again after this week. I said, no, like, you don't, I now told her, I said, you don't understand. I now said, no, I don't, I don't understand. When I tell you guys that, like, I just went cold. Everything just started doing like blurry for my face because what? Like, make it make sense. She now said that yes, that she's not here to argue. She started raising her hand and moving backwards. Everybody in the lab now started like looking towards me, looking at us. Bear in mind, like I'm facing the computer and I'm just doing something, and then there's somebody standing beside me. Somebody just standing straight like beside me and talking to me. So, if anything, from vantage point, she's the one that has like the I don't know how to explain it, power position between two of us because I'm literally like hooked like this on a desk doing something. And then her, she's standing over me. Do you get what I mean? So if there's any aggressor in this situation, it is literally the person standing up because I'm not even able to like face her fully because she was in a lab coat, but she's not in other, like she was not wearing gloves or anything like that. So it was me that like I was literally just, trying to not contaminate her, touch her, anything. I was just, down and she was literally like facing me. So she started raising her hand, moving backwards, saying, I don't want to argue. I don't. If you worked in this country, you just know what I mean. It's not everything that's well explained, but you just know, like, typical, like, I don't know. I don't want to, but she just kept on raising her hand. She was saying, that's no, I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing. She started raising her voice. I say, shoo, now play be this. I say, okay, no problem. I said, immediately I clocked what she was doing because everybody started looking at me already, like the whole lab. And the way we are, there's more than like 15 people in that lab at the same time because there's different, they were also renovating Jesus. They were also renovating that lab. So a lot of the, like, there were no walls. They basically like tore down a wall so you could see inside. Like basically, like something was going on there. Not active construction, but they were trying to like remodel. Do you get what I mean? When she started doing it, I just said, "Okay, no P. Like, don't worry at all. I'm going to ask the manager myself. Like, I'm going to ask her own manager myself." And she was like, "No, you don't need to ask him. I've already talked with him. We've already discussed it. We have agreed." In my mind, I now started thinking like, am I a mug? Like, do you think I'm a fool? Like, why will I not ask a manager? Like, you say something and I'll just take it as law and I'll start going home. In what village do they behave like that? Like, I'm educated. I know the processes. I know how things are supposed to go. It's not because you have said it to me. I have the right to contest it. Obviously, I didn't say this because she had already started like shouting and doing her own thing. So I was like, cool, no worries. I'll go and make my inquiries myself. And she really tried to dissuade me. She was like, no, guys, I'll show you guys the like screen recording screenshots of like when I was ranting about this thing when it freshly happened. I removed everything, like I removed my lab coats, did the whole leaving the lab procedure process, because there's a whole process before you scrub in and scrub out basically, so that you don't contaminate anything or you don't also carry anything out. So I did the whole process. While I was doing it, when I tell you people that like every fiber of my being was shaking, everything inside my body was shaking, like I was panicked, I was panicking because I couldn't believe it. Because if you guys truly know how difficult it was for me to get another placement, like I want you to give you context. In my class, let me say we were like 30 people, just an example. We were only, let me say that I'm being generous because I don't think we were up to 10. We were only 10 that got 1 year placements. No, sorry, we were only 10 that got placements. Out of that 10, let me say one of us got 1 year placement, and that one of us was me. I'm saying this, it was me, because during my graduation, I was literally the only person I saw from my set that did 1 year placement. So there were people that did 6 months, there are people that got 9 months, but genuinely in my class, I think that I was the only person that did 1 year. If somebody else did, they didn't come for graduation because I didn't see somebody else. Do you get what I mean? So I'm just trying to explain to you how difficult it is to like score a placement. Now imagine scoring, like trying to get another, like you've lost the first one based on things that were not even your, like it wasn't your fault at all. So you need to get another one. So imagine how difficult it was for me. Like it was a really down time for me. So I finally got this one. Then on day 3, you're telling me to go. I finally went upstairs. I went to the manager upstairs. Let me enter his office. My name was already boldly written on his like computer screen with notice period, bold. Bear in mind, this guy is like, not that it should matter, but he's black. So and the woman doing this thing is white, but not that it should matter. I'm just being specific. So I now met him and I was now like, I'm sorry, like, why are you typing my notice period without even conversing with me first? You you didn't hear my side of the story. I don't even know what the story is. I don't know what I have been accused of. So why am I being given a notice? Like, you know, he then goes, and I was like, yes, of course, because so so he then said, oh, that she said, and I was like, okay, but all these things, I like, I don't know what you're talking about. So basically, the girl told him that I said that I'm not able to do night shifts. Then she said the morning one too, that I'm not able to come to work at the time that they told me to come to work. Then there was something else that she said as well. I've forgotten. But anyway, these were the two main ones. And the guy was like, obviously, you know that we need somebody that is able to do 24/7, blah, 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 right? And I was like, that is absolutely not true. That I told this babe that I can do night shifts. And the only thing I told this babe was that if I come, that I cannot wait 1 hour doing nothing. That if I come in the morning, can I start working so that I can either leave early? At some point, I even gave her a suggestion that like, if I come that early, I'm happy to just start working and then I'll just leave a little later as well. Like I basically just explained everything to him. And he was like, oh, that maybe it's a misunderstanding, maybe it was a misunderstanding that sometimes, with people, like sometimes there may have been like a miscommunication. And I said, no, it was not a miscommunication. And then I looked at him and then he said, oh, that sometimes he kept on trying to like push the whole miscommunication narrative to me. And I genuinely, like, I wasn't having it. And I don't even know where I got like the effrontery from, because honestly, these people, they had the keys to my placement and my visa at this point in their hands. So I was scared, I was annoyed, like all the emotions that somebody could have possibly felt in that moment. I was feeling them. And I was like, no, it was not a miscommunication. I think that this person just told lies against me. Basically, that was how I said it, right? Because I couldn't care again for like mincing words or like making things like appropriate or palatable for them to hear. And when I said it, the next thing I saw, this babe jumped out of the office. I didn't even know she was in the inner room in his office. She jumped out because some of all these offices that have like basically is almost giving this where secretary stays, then inside is where the main person stays. I didn't know that that girl was inside that main place, right? She now jumped out and she was like, "That's the attitude right there. That's that attitude right there." These were her exact words. I now turned, let's say that her name is Julie. That's not her real name. I now turned and I was like, "Julie, what attitude? I have only spoken to you 2 times in my life. Like, I've literally only spoken to you 2 times in my life. And two, no, I said I've literally spoken to you 3 times in my life. And three out of those times you were speaking at me. So the first day when she was giving me induction, then the second day when I was telling her something, and then this third day when she was now speaking at me too. So I was like, I've literally spoken to you only 3 times. So like, when in the 3 times did I give you an attitude? I don't even know you. You don't know me. So why will I give you an attitude? Like, make it make sense. This was literally how I said it, guys. Like, I was over it. Like, it was up to here. I can't lie. Like, I was not okay anymore. Like, I was fuming, but then I had to be calm. Like, so you know the type of thing where it's like I was not shouting. She was literally saying, "That's the attitude right there." And then you now see me where I was like, "What attitude? What attitude?" Like, I was trying to like keep my voice tempered, but you could just see that I was angry. Like, I couldn't hide it. You could see that I was upset, but I was using every single self-control in me, because if I raised my voice the way she was raising her voice, they will not handle the both of us the same way. First of all, I'm a new starter. I'm a new staff. Second of all, she has been working there like for a long time. Third of all, she has rank, at least in code, she has rank. Fourth of all, yeah, we are still going to consider institution now. This me, this her. So yeah. So when she said it, the guy was now like that, okay, let's just diffuse the situation, that he's not going to send my notice, that I can come back to work, that this was just a misunderstanding, that I should like, basically relay my issues to him about the working environment and everything. And I then told him, okay, no worries. And then I relayed all my issues to him and everything. He was like, okay, we're going to come to a compromise. Da, 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 da. We did not come to any compromise. I still used to leave my house by 6 and I still used to get there by 8, and I still had to wait the hour. There was no compromise at all, which I did not understand, to be honest. Even like now I understand. Like, I feel that it's never that deep. Like, we're not performing heart surgery. I feel like any job that is not surgery, where it's like you must be there at a particular time. Like, and I know this may sound off, right? Because every job I've ever had, they've had start times and I've always adhered to them. But I just feel I've also been in jobs where they've made like concessions for people because of like specific reasons or particular things. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I know that this thing was not a difficult fix, even though I know that maybe I was expecting too much. That's what I will say. But it was truly wild. I can't lie to you people. Like, for somebody I don't know to lie against me, I swear, I started feeling like all this. I started thinking all these people that people lie against and they go to jail, this must be times 1 billion how they feel, because that day when I tell people that I wailed, there's nobody I didn't report to God that day. Like, I went home, the way I cried, like I said, God, like, these people, handle them, these people, give them times 1 billion. Like, God, there's no psalm I did not read for this babe, because no, that thing, it pained me like crazy. Even now that I'm thinking about it, that thing traumatized me. I can't lie to you. Just on this note, we were only two black people in the entire like operation, in the entire lab operation, at least the people I was seeing. And this guy started, the second black person was a guy, and he started around the same time I started as well, but he started after me. So this guy, the summary of, we used to enter the freezer. I told people in the first part that like we used to enter the freezer to like put blood samples. So the day they post you to the freezer, they will basically tell you a day before if they post you to the freezer. So when you're coming to work, you just layer up, you come with like double jumper, and then bear in mind, this was winter or autumn, I'll say fall, like October time. So it was cold. It would be cold. Then you will not enter freezer. And I just know that you people are thinking, when I'm saying freezer, I don't know, maybe people are thinking like something a little bit higher than room temperature, like 16 degrees. No, I mean freezer in a temperature where blood will not spoil. So it was a literal walk-in freezer. I'm not joking. So the guy that started after me now, this is just his own story. Guy started after me. He didn't start early because he had COVID-19, he had corona. So even when he started, he was still sneezing and coughing. So you could tell that this person was just getting off like maybe the flu or a cold or whatever, right? And he told them. So tell me why the day he started, they told him to enter the freezer. this same babe told him to enter the freezer, and he was like that, oh, that please, that he has cold, that he's wearing packet shirts because he was wearing like an office shirt, a tucked shirt, no blazer. And he told them that please, he's wearing a packet shirt, that he doesn't have a problem with entering the freezer, but that see that he just literally he's just recovering from a cold. That's why he didn't start when his mates, me, started. That he's wearing packet shirts. That please, tomorrow he will go to freezer. That they should bring somebody else to enter freezer today. Tomorrow he will wear sweater and enter freezer. They looked at him. She told him that no, that she doesn't know any other person that he should enter the freezer. My guy said no, that he's not entering freezer. That was step one, and this was his like day one or something like that. And he was like, no, he cannot do it because obviously you're going to prioritize your health because you can die. Like, did we forget that this thing was killing people a couple of months earlier? Like, not even that long ago. That was the beginning of his own like story there with this babe as well. Tell me why, like a couple of days later, they just got him on something. I don't know what they said. He told somebody else or whatever it is, but I know that that thing was so inconsequential. But you know that that babe was deeply annoyed that he did not enter the freezer the day she told him to enter the freezer because the thing he did was so inconsequential that how can you fire somebody because of this thing? I don't even remember what it was, but I just remember that it was a silly thing, honestly. But they held on to that thing like with power and valor and strength. And that was how that guy was out of there. Tell me why when that guy left that place, one woman that works there as well, one older lady, she came to me and was like, at least now you know you're not going to be fired. I truly wish that I was making this thing up because I don't know why she felt the need to come and tell me like that. So in my mind, I was thinking, okay, so do people have a quota for like, for us? I started thinking like, okay, is it a quota type of system? Like in my mind, I didn't say anything when she said it because what do you respond to that kind of thing? But yeah, like that is basically the end of this story. Like it was truly wild. It was insane. And bear in mind, like before I left that job, I had another job waiting for me. Even while I was doing that job, I had like a side gig, another job like waiting for me. And one thing about it is that you need to always advocate for yourself in the real world. Like you need to advocate for yourself in scenarios like this when people feel like they can bully you, especially when you know that you have not done anything right, anything wrong rather. So if people think that they can bully you, don't let them get away with it. Don't let people step all over you because one thing that they'll try to do is step all over you. So don't agree with it. I already had another job lined up and I was already doing the job already self, but I was doing it part-time. But I just needed to wrap up my placement. So I was literally like biding my time. After 30 days, I left that place expeditiously. On this note, guys, if you're trying to get and the job that I had that I'm talking about, the job that I had was the job that now ushered me into what I will say is like my ultimate role or like the dream role that I have been wanting for a long time. So if you want to know how to secure your own dream role, just click on this video here and I'm going to like be spilling all the tea in my next video right here. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.